Well, it's a beautiful day today. I've been thinking about Kaylin's birth, and I heard something on the radio the other day. Them talking about how the worst thing that could happen to you could also be the best thing that happened to you. And I remember as soon as Cynthia got pregnant, I got laid off. And you're like, hey, you're worried about how you're going to pay the bills and everything. So, since we both worked at the same place, Kentucky Textiles, we switched the insurance over into her name, and I just drew employment. So that was a bad thing for that year. I was laid off, no money coming in, had a baby on the way. But then it turns out, because I was laid off, I was able to go to absolutely every single one of Cynthia's doctor appointments. So I was there the whole time for every visit while she was pregnant with Kaylin, and I was able to keep the house clean, done up, and take care of her till she was to where she couldn't work anymore. And it was after Kaylin was born, I went back to work that January, that next January. So it was just something God did for us. It was got to have that time together, and Kaylin was difficult during these little visits. All we could do was hear her heart, but we didn't know if we were having a boy or a girl because every time they did that ultrasound, she was turned in such a way that you couldn't tell. And they even did that again right before she was born because Cynthia was having trouble. That's why they decided they was going to have to do the C-section. Because when Cynthia was put on bed rest, Kaylin grew quite a bit. And it wasn't until they did the C-section that they discovered something about Cynthia's pelvis or something, that it was going to end up having to be an emergency C-section if she tried to give birth naturally. So that all worked out, again, perfectly as a blessing. Uh, and it wasn't until she came out that we knew if it was a boy or a girl. And we decided, Cynthia decided, that if it was a girl, she wanted her to be named Kaylin because of, that is, Cynthia's and her sister Lisa's middle names, Lisa Kay, Cynthia Lynn. She wanted to combine them. I got to figure out the spelling for it, but it was Kaylin. So I got to pick the middle name, and I figured if it was a girl, I was going to go with Hope for Bob Hope. Uh, and if we had a boy, we decided we was going to name him Christian, and I was going to go with the Humphrey Bogart way that way, but Blaine, because that was his character in Casablanca, Richard Blaine. So it would have been Christian Blaine Rowe or Kaylin Hope Rowe, and it ended up being Kaylin Hope Rowe. And shortly after Kaylin was born, I had the opportunity to move up in KT's to the accounting department. So I went to the accounting department and worked there. And one of the ladies in payroll asked me one day She says, "Why do you keep calling her kid? You know, the kid." And that's how. And I didn't realize that that was what I was referring to Kaylin as all the time. Not my child, not my daughter, but the kid. And it, it didn't hit me. And I could think of many reasons why. Uh, One thing, Bogart. You know, here's looking at you, kid. Uh, Chaplin. I was a big fan of Chaplin. He had a movie, The Kid. So it just seemed to fit. It was just she was the kid. You know, she was always going to be the kid. So that's why when you know we got divorced and I ended up with Jadonna, uh, you know, I couldn't call him kid. Son seemed a little awkward. He's never really called me dad. I am EW to him. I am his stepdad. I am his mom's husband, but he was always the boy. And I remember in the beginning, Donna was very concerned how her parents would take that, me calling him the boy, because I think his dad might have done that once before, something like that too. But it all came out when we went to Perico's one night, and the waitress asked the children what they wanted, and she's like, "Girl, boy, what do you want?" So it's just the boy, and there's never been anything negative about it. Just boy. I've also called Kalen Punk. I did not know either, too, that Cynthia said that that is what some family members called her dad that, but I never heard that. So Kalen was always Punk. So I remember, you know, when I was working in the office in the accounting department at KT's, you know, when I'd get off work, I'd get done before Cynthia would. I'd go pick Kaylin up from the babysitter or daycare, and usually there's puddles or something outside. We'd go outside and play in the puddles. I mean, even with dress shoes and dress pants, and just if you had a puddle, I mean, that was a beautiful thing about having a child. You know, reminded you of things that are the simple things that were around that you just, as an adult, you just get blinded to. I also remember it's very odd because I worked with Jadonna when I was working at KT's with Cynthia. Jadonna and I became good friends, and we emailed a lot. And I remember when she told me that she was pregnant, like that, and she knew it was going to be a boy. And I remember when she was telling me the names that she was thinking about and that they decided on Seth. And I'll admit, I told her I didn't care for it because I didn't know any Seths. There weren't any Seths. But now looking at him, that it suits him. That is what he is. He's Seth. Uh, but only knew it was a biblical name, Adam and Eve's third child. But I didn't know anybody else named Seth, so it just seemed very uncommon to me. It's like I don't know any other Elmers or Jadonis, like that, or Kalins. I mean, so they're all unique names, and that's, again, God was working in ways. You know, I was there when, you know, Seth's announcement of coming into the world was made. You know, I was there when she told me, you know, he was pregnant. I was at the baby shower held at work for Jadonna and Seth. Um, I remember her bringing him by work like that. So I've known Seth since his mother was pregnant with him and as a baby, but then again, I lost track of him and didn't see him for another 10 years. And then he entered my life again and we became family. So still the boy. He'll always be the boy, and she'll always be the kid. And it's hard to think she's getting to turn 24, and he's already 20. My dad too. He's not really a boy. He's not. I can't even call him a teenager anymore. He's 20. I feel so old. It's been wonderful. Family has been wonderful. And even though that, Cynthia and I got divorced, we have a good relationship, friendly relationship. Like that. So again, this all could have turned out so much worse. But God has been blessing me. I understand that when in the beginning, Adam was alone, and God said, it's not good for him to be alone. I'm not good alone. I need a wife. I can be alone, but I'm much better off when I'm with a wife. And I love my wife. Loved them both when I had them. I still have this one at the moment. She hasn't got rid of me yet, so. You can't screw anything up bad enough that God isn't able to fix it. Just remember that. Pray on it. There's always a lesson to be learned. And the quicker you learn it, sometimes it's the quicker you'll get out of the trouble that you're in. So, God can use even the negatives like that to find a positive. I was laid off. I got to go to every doctor's appointment. There are blessings out there if you just open your eyes and see where God is leading you. Well, I think I'm going to finish this cigar that I started yesterday. Hate to waste them. It is a beautiful day. Love you.